welcome to this week's segment of the Ripoff of the Week. My name is Adam Angievsky, and I'm the CEO and founder of OpenTheBooks.com. And you know our mission. It's every dime online in real time. We open the books, we audit those books, the audits make national news, and we work hard to bring you that news. Last year, we filed 40,000 Freedom of Information Act requests. It was the most in American history. Today, on this week's segment of the Ripoff of the Week, we got a great topic for you. Before we get into the topic, I want to introduce my co-host to you, and her name is Tamara Colbert. Tamara?
Hi there, Adam. Welcome, everybody. So our straightforward topic this week is all about California's legalized pot industry. So what's going on with that?
So California, it's the Golden State, and they legalized marijuana back in 2016 and started implementing regulations around 2018. Today, they're asking their taxpayers to subsidize the pot industry in California to the tune of $100 million. Now, everybody watching this week's segment of the Ripoff of the Week, you got a stake in that subsidy because in the American Rescue Act, Congress passed that. All the Democrats voted for it, all the Republicans voted against it in March of this year. We, the taxpayer, just bailed out state government in California to the tune of $26 billion. So a part of the bailout is going to bail out the California pot industry. And Tamara, you wouldn't think that industry of all states, California, would need a bailout.
Exactly. So, full transparency, Adam, have you ever smoked pot?
No, I've never touched the stuff. So Tamara, look, I get high on life. I'm training right now for my 8th marathon. I get the runner's high, and I have to say it's really good. Last weekend, I ran 20 miles. Yesterday, I ran 6. Tomorrow, I run 8. And on Saturday, I'm going 14. I don't need anything else.
Nope, those endorphins are great. So let's go back to pot for a second. So are they pushing the pot sales back into a black market or an illegal market with all of this red tape?
So let's break this down. So you would think in the state of California, when they legalized marijuana, that would be a popular seller amongst a certain cross-section of the population.
Right.
Here's what happened. The geniuses in the legislature, the lawmakers in California, the politicians, they loaded the entire industry with the heavy boot of government. Regulations, high taxes, high fees, big licensing costs. Tamara, if you want to be a licensed pot dispensary in California, your costs are going north of $250,000 in government fees. Nobody can afford this. There's 10,000 dispensaries in California, and only about 750 of them are fully licensed. The rest of them are operating on most of them are operating on expired temporary licenses. And so our auditors and news reports have shown that roughly $1 in $5 of California pot sales is fully legal. $4 in $5 isn't.
That's unbelievable. Now, have they made any headway on drug arrests? Because that always is something they're looking at. Where are we with the drug arrests in California related to pot?
So after marijuana was legalized, obviously the drug arrests, they went way down. But conversely, what the state legislature is getting ready to enact is going to be legal enforcement on the pot dispensaries that are not fully compliant with California regulation and license law. And so massive fines to landlords, like if you rent space to one of these illegal dispensaries, you could be fined up to $30,000 a day. So all of a sudden, the long arm of law enforcement is back into the pot industry.
It's unbelievable. So again, this is a perfect example of government regulation doing what?
It is crushing private industry. In California, this is now a legal industry. And because of the politicians, they're killing the golden goose.
That's incredible. Speaking of the golden goose, let's check on how our Open the Books lawsuit against Comptroller Betty Yee is going. We have been trying for a long time to get force California to open the books. What's the status of that?
Hey, we got an update, Tamara, and this is really good news. We took it as a big positive sign today. The circuit court judge in Sacramento weighed in with an order, and he ordered both parties, us and Betty Yee, the comptroller in California, to do more briefing on the subject. The briefing falls heavily on her. The judge is not buying their arguments that they can't find any documents. He's actually concerned that they didn't even argue the documents that we had gleaned from discovery. They let all those arguments we made, they let them go. They didn't even address them. The judge is very concerned that they didn't do that. From the beginning, and we started this process in 2013 by filing our request with the California Comptroller for the state checkbook. They've tried to gaslit us. They don't want to respond to anything. They go silent, they go dark. And now the judge is forcing them in a court of law in California to go on the record. And we think this is a net positive for the case. We expect to win this case and open the line-by-line state checkbook in the state of California.
So, Adam, is there a timeline here? We can expect some things moving on down the line, or do you think California is going to continue to obstruct as long as possible?
So I think the timeline is it's not days, it's not weeks. It's probably these things go for like months before the next decision is made. But I would imagine we're going to try to wrap this up by the end of the year.
Excellent. So what do you need people to do as they're watching this? We've got great conversations happening right now as we're talking. What can our Open the Books viewers do?
So I don't care if you're in California or across the country. Transparency in California is a major issue for all of us. Not only are we bailing out the state and localities in California to the tune of $42 billion in that American Rescue Act, we all deserve to see where they spend taxpayer money. But in addition to that, in California, if we can turn transparency into California into a transparency battleground state, this has national implication. The balance of power in the United States Senate hangs. It's a 50-50 split. And the California senator, the senior senator, is 88 years old.
Yes.
So if there was a California governor that ran on the issue, was elected, opened the state checkbook, he or she could probably also get the appointment for that U.S. Senate seat. So this is a big deal. People should pay attention, and you should back our efforts.
Excellent. And you can learn more at openthebooks.com. We would love to have you sign our petition, our transparency petition. It is Read the Bill. Adam, what is Read the Bill petition all about?
So the Read the Bill petition is to urge Congress on the final draft of legislation to give it a 72-hour timeout where it's posted online so everybody, members of Congress, the press, the people, the pundits, the challengers to the incumbent political class, so we can all read it, tear it apart, give it oversight before the final vote. It's critical policy. It's probably 99% issue with the American people, and it should be done. So just come to openthebooks.com. There's a petition tab across the top. Sign our petition, urge Congress to read the bill. Tamara, we don't have a representative republic if our representatives aren't reading the legislation that they're voting on.
Exactly. Openthebooks.com. Thank you, everybody, for joining us for this update, and stay tuned for next week. You never know what can happen at the ripoff of the week. We look forward to seeing you then.
Thank you.